Good evening, students. Myself, Surinder Singh Bhardwaj. Today we will discuss the introduction on CRPC, the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. To discuss this chapter, discuss this introductions, first we will discuss the crime. You know that crime, when the society changed from tribe to the civilized society, the crime was one of the, to tackle the crime was one of the important aspect for the society. And earlier, eye for eye, the principle of eyes for eye in tribes, when it was changed after when the Aryans came. We have seen in Manu Smriti, there were 18 type of crimes in which adultery, gambling are mentioned there. So, crime is always considered as importance for the kings. They made their own laws because the word crime is a Latin word which means an accusation or any act which is legally barred, any act in which is committed with mens rea. Later on, this aspect in Sanskrit, the word aparadh means sinful act. So, when the British came, and especially after the 1857 revolt, there was need to the Queen and the British to tackle these problems. They introduced the law like IPC, which was introduced by the Macaulay. But before the implementation of the this IPC, Macaulay was died. So then the present CRPC, which first time in 1961, 1861, it was passed by the British Parliament, and later on 1882, some amendments were made, and uniform applicable of the CRPC was made in the British period, British territory. Then the present CRPC 1973 was the report of a fifth law commission whose chairman was B.K. Sundaram. He made a report and it was introduced a bill in 68 in the Rajya Sabha, 68, 69, 1868 Rajya Sabha. The purpose was that because due to hue and cry for the delaying justice, because you know that denial of justice when the proceedings are late, delay is the denial of a justice. So under these conditions, V.K. Sundaram made a report, and it was that a fair trial, speedy trial, and justice to the poor, speedy trial, then this bill was passed, and it took the assent of the President on 25th January 1974, and it was implemented from the 1st April 1973. So this was the just historical introduction of the CRPC. Now question was, what are the objects of CRPC? So you know that IPC is a substantive law and CRPC is a adjective law, procedural law. So the first object is to give a deterrent effect to the public, because without procedure, even you mentioned any death sentence, if you have no machinery, if you have not machinery for to give a justice, then there is no need regarding mentioning that death sentence. So second, it's a procedural law. It gives a machinery for the implementations of substantive law. Third object is it gives speedy trials, speedy investigations. The procedure by following the procedure in the CRPC. Fourth, that it given powers to everyone under the machinery for implementation of a criminal justice. That this will be the power, this will be the magistrate can give up to this punishment, and addition session judge can give a this punishment. This was the object. So इसी तरीके से जो गरीब हैं उनको प्रॉपर जस्टिस मिल सके. So these were the main objects to introducing the present CRPC. Then what are the importance of CRPC? You know that CRPC जो है, it is related to the human beings. It curtails the liberty of a human being. So that's why it is important. So further, it gave a systematically the procedure for the implementation of substantive law. Third, it also not only curtails but also give a right somewhere like an anticipatory bail in maintenance. So these for the welfare of women, child. So considering this, CRP is one of the important subject. Then its scope. When we consider the scope of the CRPC, you know that whatever the offenses mentioned in the IPC, CRPC give a procedure to implement that. So where there is no specific procedure in any other criminal offenses, then their CRPC is applicable. So this was the scope of the CRPC. So now, what are the nature of the CRPC? When we discuss the nature of CRPC, number one, it's a adjective law. It's a procedural law. It provides the procedure to implement substantive law like IPC. Number two, it's exhaustive in nature. every procedure has been mentioned here. There are schedules which mention regarding what are the offences bailable, non-bailable, which court it's travelable. Then there are specific form in schedule 2. So when the 42 form number is a brunt of death. So when we consider the importance of that order which give a death sentence, that form is 42. So this is a exhaustive in nature. Then it is a detailed, give a directions to the investigation, to the investigation agencies. And so we will discuss how this, you know that there are 484 sections in CRPC. There are 37 chapters. 37 chapters in CRPC. And there are 2 schedules. So the first schedule है, that is table of offences and classification of offences in the second schedule. In the first schedule and second schedule is forms 1 to 56. So 1 to 56 are the forms. So I will prepare a chart for you that when we discuss this CRPC, we divide into 5 parts. First part will be the introductions part. Second is because when the offense committed. So one is second one, first introductions part. Second is chapters regarding before crime. Third part is the chapter which are after crime. Then fourth part is a trial which start from the charge, after framing the charge. And the last is after trial. Now I am making the charts. This CRPC, first part is introductions, which is from 1 to 7. Second is procedure before crime. It's chapter 12 to 7. Then procedure, this is 8 to 11, and procedure after crime is 12 to 17. Then trial, that is chapter 18 to 27. And last one is after trial. It's chapter number 28 to 30, 32, 34, chapter 35, 37. So when we discuss introductions, normally it is chapter first is related to introductions, section 1 to 5, then chapter 2 constitutes criminal courts 6 to 25. Then chapter 3 is related to the power of courts 26 to 35, and chapter 4 is a power of superior courts it's a section 36. Chapter 4V 8 to magistrate, section 37 to 40. Now, section 6, which is related to define the courts, criminal courts. You know that highest court is the Supreme Court. After that, then is the High Court, then additional session judge or section judge, then assistant session judge, and after that CJM, then judicial magistrate first class and judicial magistrate second class. So similarly, if it's a metropolitan, then chief judicial magistrate, metropolitan magistrates. So these are the classification of the courts from magistrate to up to the High Court. So this is the CRPC where has classified the courts. Similarly, it give a territorial jurisdictions to the CJM, who can divide their district into a Ilaka magistrates. And every magistrate first class has a territorial jurisdiction of that particular territory. Okay? So similarly, section 14 is mentioned regarding this fact, where the CJM divides its power to the Ilaka magistrate. So when we discuss the punishment, what are the powers given to the magistrate and higher courts? Now, a judicial magistrate second class can pass a sentence up to 1 year and 5,000 fine. So similarly, judicial magistrate first class can pass a sentence up to 3 years and fine up to 10,000. So similarly, the CJM can pass a sentence up to 7 years, and assistant session judge can pass a sentence up to 10 years. And session judge and the additional session judge can pass a sentence up to death sentence, but death sentence is always confirmation with the High Court. So similarly, High Court can pass any sentence. So I'm giving an example to you that how the procedure is working in the courts. You know that when the offense is committed, first the sections come, section 154, in which FIR is registered. After that, in procedure, then the IO went to the spot and recorded the statement under section 161 CRPC. He recorded the statement of the witness, and after that 164 section CRPC, where the magistrate record the statements. If it come into the mind of a IO that this witness will not speak in the court or win over by the other parties, he always examine that person into the court. So similarly, 164 is also related to the confession. You know that whatever the confession is recorded by the magistrate, and it is a guidelines given in the section 164 CRPC, and in Ravinder Kumar case, Ravinder Kumar alias Dara Singh or Bajrang Dal case, where the Supreme Court give a guidelines that magistrate must follow this. If you want to see how our judicial system work with efficiently, without any bias, then you will go to the case of a Kasab, where Mrs. Vogle record the confession of a accused Kasab. In that case, first police made a request to the CGM to recording the confession. CGM marked to ACGM Mrs. Vogle, and the competency and the without any biasness how this confession was recorded. If you will go through the judgment, you will clearly prove it. So the first, when the Kasab was present before Vogle, then madam asked to him, you are not too bound to give this confession. And he also put some questions to him, whether police did anything wrong with you, and he will then sent to the judicial custody for 1 day. If he wants, she can record the confession at that time. But the confession should always be voluntarily. So by following the guidelines in Kasab case, again she sent a 2-day judicial custody to him. Then when the again Kasab come, his confession was recorded. And when the day at 4 p.m. she may be continue, but she again adjourned on the next day. So there should be no biasness, and it was completely recorded. Even the some terms were asked to the Kasab to clear their meaning. So ये होता है एक बिना बायसनेस से कन्फेशन रिकॉर्ड करना. ठीक है? तो then after completing the investigation, so I am telling you the procedure how it is followed, because someone who are the just students, they have not seen the practice in the courts. That's why I am telling how the case is go. Then उसके बाद 173 CRPC के अंदर जो IO होता है, SHO कंसर्न, वो अपना चालान प्रोड्यूस करता है बिफोर कोर्ट्स. जो मजिस्ट्रेट होता है, he give the copies to all the copies to the challan under sections 207. Or if the case is tried by the session court, then under sections 209 CRPC, it was committed to the session court. So उसके बाद then the statement of then charge was framed after the presentation of a challan, copy supplied, then charge was framed, and it is accused may plead guilty there or not. If the accused did not plead guilty, no, the trial starts. So then the prosecution lead evidence. जितने भी प्रोसिक्यूशंस के गवाह होते हैं तब उनको एग्जामिन कराया जाता है. सो अगेन सीआरपीसी गिवे, जब उसका प्रोसिक्यूशन एविडेंस कंप्लीट हो जाता है, सीआरपीसी कंसीडर सेक्शन 313 which is the principle of a natural justice, Audi alternum patrum, which means a notice is given to the accused. What type of notice? That whatever the incriminating evidence against the accused was put to him under section 313 statement, and he replied accordingly. उसके बाद फिर जो डिफेंस होता है वो अपने विटनेस एग्जामिन्स होते हैं. इवन सेक्शन 315 सीआरपीसी, accused is a competent witness, and after that a judgment is passed. So this was the basic procedure. Now we again go to the chart. First part is introductory, second is related to the. Now go to the chart. I have shown you this one. This was the chart. Now first are the offences which are that is procedure before crime. So this was the chapter 8 to, you write down 8 to 11. This is 8 to, yes, 8 to 11. So chapter 8 is section 106 to 124. It is related to the security for keeping peace for good behavior. It's a just precautionary measures. And similarly, chapter 9 in CRPC is related to the maintenance of wife and children. So sometimes chapter 9 is considered as a substantive law. It is in section 125 to 128. Similarly, chapter 10 is maintenance of public order and tranquility. And chapter 11 is preventive action of police in section 149 to 153. So then third one, I have made a chart that is a procedure after crime. It's in chapter 12 to 17. So in this we also, it is a procedure after the crime. So chapter 5, like arrest, is also we discuss in this section. In this part, it is related section 141 to 68. Then chapter bail in section 436 to 450. So in chapter 436 is related to the bailable offences, and 437 is related to the procedure of bail by the magistrate in non-bailable cases. And regarding where the punishment is a life imprisonment, magistrate can give a bail even if, as per section 437, if a accused is a lady, child or sick. So similarly, section 438 is regarding anticipatory bail. So adopting the principles in anticipatory bail, we give a liberty. So liberty to a person कि कहीं वो पुलिस के द्वारा तंग ना किया जा रहा हो. Similarly, in section 439 in bail, it's a bail given by the High Court and the Session Court. They can give the bail even any offence which is tried by them, Session Court, or any offences which 437 is also there. So this is the full chapter is regarding bail. Now next is chapter compel appearance. Is chapter chapter 6 to compel appearance, section 61 to 90, and chapter 9 compel of product of things, section 91 to 105. So similarly, important chapter 12, normally the questions come under this. It's an investigation from 154 to section 176. Then chapter 13 is related to the jurisdictions, section 177 to 189. Then chapter 31 is transfer, withdrawal of cases, 406 to 412 sections, and chapter is limitation of cognizance. We discuss the chapter here. Then chapter 15 is related to complaint, section 200 to 203. Then chapter 16, start proceeding before a magistrate, section 204 to 210. Then chapter 17 is a charge. Charge is a notice of accusations to the accused, 224. So this was the procedure after the crimes. Now then trial proceeding, you know that trial proceeding start after the charge. It's in chapter 18 to 27, and there are total 11 chapters in this. Trial proceeding before the charge is related to the chapter 19 is related to the warrant case, section 238 to 250. Then chapter 20, trial of summon case, 251 to 259. Chapter 21, summary trial, where the court can dispose a case in a summary. These are in minor natures. Chapter 121 is important chapter and introduced later on. Plea of bargaining, its sections 265 A to L. So chapter 23, evidence in trial, mentioned in section 272 to 299. Then chapter 24, section 300 to 327, general provision regarding inquiry and trial. Chapter 22, person detained in prison, section 266 to 271. And chapter 25, provision of accused when he is unsound mind. So similarly 328, there are only three sections. Although it's not important, but prelim point of view you must go through, or sometime the questions may be coming to the main examination. 26, provision of offense affecting administrative of justice, section 340 to 355. So chapter 27 is the last chapter regarding trial, that is a judgment. When the judgment passed, then the procedure of after the trial starts. So in after trial, so this is the fifth point, that is after trial, before this trial, then before this after the offense, and second was the before the crime, first was the introductory. So in the first chapter is chapter 20, 28 is confirmations of डेथ सेंटेंस. सो जब भी कोई सेशन जज किसी को डेथ सेंटेंस करता है तो वो हाई कोर्ट को कंफर्मेशन होने के लिए भेजता है. सो सेक्शन 366 के अंदर इसके अंदर कंफर्मेशन होती है. चैप्टर 29 is related to the appeal. So this is some type of a substantive law and mentioned in section 372 to 394. Chapter 30 is related to the reference and revisions, section 395 to 405. And chapter 32 is execution, suspension, remission, and commutations. And chapter 34 is disposal of the property. Disposal of the property in section 451 to 459. Then regarding the irregular proceeding, chapter 35 and chapter 37 is miscellaneous in section 474 to 484. So it's a general introduction where that it has a 37 chapters, 484 sections, 2 schedules. One first schedule there is related to the whether the offence is available and which court it's trialable. Then Its next is a form. जैसे first form is a second schedule is related to the summon, and 42 is related to the death warrants. So it's a systematically procedure. हर फॉर्म बनाया हुआ है, कैसे कंप्लेंट होगी, किस तरीके का अपील होएगी, ठीक है, क्या डेथ वारंट वाला फॉर्म होएगा, क्या बेल बॉन्ड्स देने उस समय फॉर्म होएगा, हर प्रोसीजर इसको डिटेल में मेंशन किया हुआ है। सो जैसे अगर आप बहुत अच्छे डॉक्टर हो, आपने एमबीबीएस एमडी डिग्रीज की हुई है, जब तक आपको प्रैक्टिकल आपने ऑपरेशंस नहीं किए हैं, यू कैन नॉट बिकम ए गुड डॉक्टर्स। सिमिलरली, इफ यू आर एडवोकेट और ए जुडिशियल ऑफिसर, जब तक आपको प्रोसीजर नहीं आता अच्छी तरीके से, तो ना तो आप अच्छे एडवोकेट और ना ही गुड जज बन सकते। तो आपको ये जो चैप्टर है, हम इसको डिटेल में हर चैप्टर करेंगे, और हम इसके बाद हर जो इंपॉर्टेंट केस होंगे, नए केस होंगे, वो डिस्कस करेंगे। जैसे हम जल्दी ही अरुषि मर्डर केस डिस्कस करेंगे। मेरी आपसे मेरे रिक्वेस्ट टू यू, आप हमारा चैनल सब्सक्राइब करो, ताकि आपको जल्दी से वो जो केस है आपको एग्जामिनेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू डिस्कस कर सको। और हमारा जो इंस्टाग्राम है jurist_academy, उसको आप फॉलो करो, ठीक है। तो हम आपको इस जल्दी ही, क्योंकि सीआरपीसी भी मैं कराऊंगा, जैसे मैं एविडेंस करा रहा हूं, तो मैं आपको जो प्रोसीजर है, सिंस आई हैव डिड ए प्रैक्टिस, आई टॉप द जुडिशियल सर्विस, आई सर्व एज ए जुडिशियल ऑफिसर, जो प्रोसीजर हमने प्रैक्टिस में कोर्ट में सीखा है, वो मैं आपको पूरी डिटेल में कराऊंगा, ठीक है। थैंक यू। दिस इज ए जस्ट इंट्रोडक्शंस, ठीक है। वी विल गिव ए डिटेल इन चैप्टर वाइज। थैंक यू बेटा।